by the seashore.
Oh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Deranged and Questing. What are we all about? Why should I tell you? And we have this epic animation to do it for me.
Previously, I'm the big bad necromancer. Get wrecked, nerds. Mwahaha. Pew 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 pew. Oof, I'm out of here. Escape.
Huzzah! Master, I got that gem you wanted. Eek! Ding! So, ghosts, help me! Hey, I need 3 heroes. Go and get them for me.
Here they are, sir. Here are your heroes.
Okay, listen up. I need you to get the souls out of this idiot before he explodes and kills us all.
And thus their adventure began. This is Deranged and Questing, the Necromancer's idiot apprentice.
Greg's over there in the background loving the sound of his own voice, as usual.
As does every viewer out there. Thank you very much.
I just love the animation.
That's true. I think, honestly, I think it's probably the best part of our whole podcast. If that could be the whole episode, I think people would love it. But for tonight, I guess you guys are going to be stuck seeing our delightful faces and hearing our voices. Thank you for joining us on Deranged and Questing, the Necromancer's Idiot Apprentice, Episode 5. We are once again joined. I'm Grak Skullcrusher, Dwarven Berserker. Joining me is Ser Doran, the Human Cleric.
Huzzah!
And the cowardly Brom Wideberth.
Hello.
And of course, leading things in his usual delightful voice, which you just heard, is our Dungeon Master, Greg.
Chicka 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 chip 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 chip.
God, that was even weirder than last week's one. Are you just like trying to up your
I'm
game?
going on a theme now, yep. I'll also take suggestions from the fans. Is there anything that I could do that's weirder every single week to make Andy uncomfortable on a personal level?
That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, you know what? You guys don't want to hear from me anymore. Take it away, Dungeon Master. Tell us what the hell is going on. What happened last week?
Okay, before we even get into last week, let's talk a little bit further back in time. So, how this whole thing started, which the video kind of hints on but hasn't been fully explained, is there's been a land, not a land, there was land, and on that land was a threat. And on that threat was this giant necromancer. Not really like a giant pain of a necromancer, but he was like literally a giant and a necromancer, like a big frost giant necromancer. That's what I'm going for. And he was unveiled, and this army was sent to dispatch this foul presence. It was kind of successful. The army ran him out of the area. He retreated in fear, and since he's gone into hiding. Then, after that happened, his clueless apprentice arrived with a gem filled with souls that we assumed that the necromancer was going to use to power his attacks. The apprentice then dropped that gem, just cracked it wide open, and all the souls somehow got sucked into him, and now he's got all this destructive force that's contained in him, but slowly leaking out, a little bit dangerous. No one really knows what's going on, and that's why our group is doing what they are doing. So we skip a little bit ahead in time, and that brings us to our current adventuring group. They are heading north to help remove the souls from his body before something bad happens. Last we left off, the group, they ran off a bunch of possessed wolves, which came into being by an explosion from Abelard, also hurting his companions in the process. Very scary stuff. I believe Grak and Brom had a disagreement over tactics used in fighting the wolves and other previous things, and that's kind of where we left off. So I will let you guys take it from there.
Well, as you know, Grak is chasing Brom. He is he's still, he just came off battle rage, so he is fully seeing red, and he's shouting, "Brom, you cowardly bastard!"
Who? Me?
Of course
Brom says. As he prances around the tent a few steps ahead of Grak at all points.
Treacherous, spindly snake of an elf, I'll sharpen my hammer on your ears. Get back here so we can talk about your tactical choices of setting your damn wolves on me.
My wolves? I think they were Abelard's wolves. I think you should definitely be directing your anger at the kid. I'm perfectly innocent, of course.
Grak kind of slows for a minute, thinks about that, and then, no, it's your fault. You had them all befriended, and you set them on me. That's not what comrades do. You're
right. Comrades want glory and honor and great fame for their friends, and that's what I'm doing for you. Brom is now running backwards, taking advantage of his enhanced speed to blow raspberries at Grak as he pants to try to keep up.
Grak is kind of huffing and puffing now. You know, he's a berserker, so everything is full intensity all the time, and his sprint stamina is not as good as he wishes it was. So now he's, come back here, you damned elf.
Come on, just a few more meters. You can do it. You can do it.
Damn these short legs.
Doran's like, try running the other way around.
Grak stops kind of huffing and puffing.
Run in the other direction.
Grak's gonna take a cup just to try that, to find out whether or not it actually works, and then he kind of just plops down. Fuck.
As Grak finally collapses on the floor, Doran will go over and finally heal him like he was trying to do before the escapade. And because since he got maimed by the wolves and everything else, and Doran will heal his wounds so we can get him all patched up and ready to go. He's lost his
new.
Good as something.
And Grak is looking up at Ser Doran and his wounds. He's like, that's why I couldn't catch you, elf. It was my wounds.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, your job as a rogue, the party rogue. God, I'm too tired. I can't even think straight. Your job is to watch our backs, not stab us in the back.
Do we have a contract that I didn't read? No, you see, it was tactical. They would have torn me to shreds. You're all muscle-bound and strong. Clearly, I mean, let's be real. You needed the exercise. Just saying.
Just be careful. If that's how you act in a party, next time you need our help, we might not have your back.
Last time, cross my heart, hope to die. Cross my fingers.
Right, I'll be keeping an eye on you. I'll be keeping an eye on you, elf.
Brom does a flashy little bow in acknowledgement.
Okay, and with that, you guys are kind of looking around the scene before you sort of believe 6 wolves ran in the other direction, and Prince, what was Abelard's name? Something Smolder?
Something Smolder.
Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce Smolder.
Bryce Smolder.
The great champion, Bryce Smolder.
Yes,
right.
It's weird that I forgot that because that was literally a minute and 30 seconds ago, but for some reason I have. Bryce Smolder is looking at you all with a little twinkle in his eye, and then he, as he kind of looked a little bit sick earlier, he starts coughing a small bit and goes down onto all fours, and he looks up and he looks a little bit confused. A look that you've all seen multiple times on your journey thus far.
Here we go again.
Oh, he's going to be surprised with the teddy bear.
As the darkness cleared and I took a look around at my surroundings, head spinning, churning like I was caught in the middle of a controlled water spell, I couldn't help but wonder at what had just happened. There I was, the South City Strangler, cornered, at my mercy, and then nothing but pain and blackness. Looking around now, this doesn't look like the dark slums of South City. Instead, I find myself looking at a dwarf, an elf, a man, armored, prepared for combat. All in all, I have to say, the situation is looking crazier than a Kenku in a coffee bean crate. but I figured I'd play along. Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD. Why don't you all go ahead and explain to me what's going on here?
I don't know
I
if we
took
can
this
explain
last
the bear.
time. It's all you.
Oh man, this listen, it's gonna be a little confusing. We're gonna take good care of you. Grak here, he'll watch your back all the time. Don't worry about Brom. He's gonna do, and I'll look out for you.
As I looked over the man addressing me, he looked human. Nothing too strange about him, aside from his clothes. Thick plate armor head to toe. The color scheme so disgusting it could poison a dwarf. I knew his type, zealous to a fault. And like walking a tightrope over hog-tied orphans, I knew I'd have to tread carefully. Well, thank you, sir, for the information. I'm sure I can count on all of you to fill me in what's going on. Have any of you heard of the South City Strangler?
No, I can't say I have.
Serial killer of chickens of the highest degree. Killed more hens and strangled more cocks than you can possibly imagine. I was hot on his trail about a week ago. The trail picked up, caught fire. Clues led me here, but now I don't know where here is.
You're just outside of... No, they disappear.
Ah, he's gone.
Oh my god. A comment from the viewers, which I absolutely agree with. Someone get this man a medal. Holy shit. For those of you who are joining us for the first time and who don't know what's going on, the young character Abelard is possessed by 1,000 spirits, give or take. We still don't know exactly how many. He's possessed by all these spirits, and every time he wakes up, a new spirit is possessing him. And this time it is Detective Dick Donovan.
My consciousness flickered for a second, everything black again, like the void I just came from. And then, light. Looking up, collapsed on the ground. I saw someone staring down at me. I looked into that dwarf's face, searching for the man behind the beard. I was surprised to see that behind those beady little eyes that shimmered with the morality and intelligence of a child's doll, that he seemed like a likable fellow. Dependable. I knew then that, like clay being shaped by a blind nymphomaniac, I was in good hands. Nice to meet you, Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD.
Good
I
to
understand
meet you,
you're the one that's going to watch my back, according to the cleric over there with the strange armor.
Hey,
Anything comes at you, I hit it, break it, or throw it. That's kind of the job description for me.
Well, I need
Sometimes
things
you
hit,
cuddle
broken,
it.
and thrown sometimes. So it sounds like you're just a
You
man for
holler
the
at me,
job.
lad.
And you, Brom, I think I heard them call you.
Why, yes.
Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The elf man seemed calm, sure of himself, as stoic as his people are known for. Things were getting real interesting now. Who were these people? How did I get here? What are they doing? And why the hell did it look like this elf had two different color eyes? I hadn't seen eyes like that since that case with the two-eyed cyclops. But as soon as I saw them, he noticed me peering. And just like that, they were gone, identical again. Questions swirled around my head. And like a mind flayer at a wax museum, I knew I wouldn't get answers easily. Well, I seem to be out of the loop here, gentlemen, so why don't you all go ahead and take the lead, and this time, Grak, I've got your back.
Good to have someone watching my back finally. Ser Doran, I could use a bit more healing in case you didn't notice. All the fucking bite marks from the wolves.
I think they add to your gruff charm.
You look like you're about to keel over from physical trauma. What
This
the
is
hell happened to
nothing.
you?
This is normal. Doran will head over there and examine Grak's additional wounds and tend to those as well. And take a swig from his wineskin while he's doing it, thinking how his life has gone awry and that he's out here in the woods being gnawed on by talking wolves with a psychotic dwarven berserker and also not so friendly Brom Wideberth these days.
You know, I'm just going to say, in Grak's defense, despite the fact that he's a berserker, I feel like he's the most stable member of this party thus far.
Oh,
Very much.
just because he's a dwarf, he's very sturdy.
That's true.
So then, One last question before we set out. Does anyone have a cigarette?
Yes.
Wait a minute. I feel a strange pulse in my mind. I notice the bag slung near my hip. I feel power flowing from it, a beckoning. I was drawn to it, like a light on a dark sea or the last donut at the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I reached my hand in, fumbled around, and when I withdrew it, there it was. Exactly what I was looking for. Fortuna. Imported. Perfectly lit and tapered cigarette. I put it between my lips to take a long drag. Exhaling, I watch the smoke leave. I contemplate the fumes and think, this is what my life has become. Some fucking dwarf, an elf who won't shut up, and a cleric who's wearing armor that looks like someone just vomited rainbows on the floor. Life's strange that way, but if there's one thing that Detective Dick Donovan can do, it's strange. I turn back to my companions. All right, lead the way.
While we walk in the direction of town, Brom slings a arm around the shoulders of Detective Dick Donovan and says,
I want everyone to be aware, by the way, that I'm monologuing out loud and everyone can hear.
Oh, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
excellent.
There's no double over here. I just occasionally turn away from the group and just start talking and looking at the ground.
Like nobody can hear you?
Exactly, yeah, pretty much.
Well, you know, Dickie, my man, we could really use a man of your talents. You see, we kind of maybe possibly let some possessed wolves run into the woods, and I feel like we should be catching them.
Losing control of a magically altered animal in a public area? That's a minimum 500 gold fine with the possibility of 5 years in lockup. You're lucky I don't report you all now, but fortunately, I've got your back. What are we going to do about these wolves?
I don't know. I figure we figure that out when we get there.
Winging it. I like it.
We've got-
Letting fate take the wheel. As a man of faith, I'm sure you do that often, but I'll tell you every now and again, on these streets, or at least the streets of South City where I'm used to being, sometimes a man's got to have a plan if a man doesn't want to be trodden down.
Well, last time
I feel like we should just follow the fucking wolf tracks wherever they're going, because that's where they're going.
Well, some
I
of
feel
us
like the
are
berserker's
short
not the
enough.
one to be telling.
Some of us are short enough to see those tracks. But for some of us people who, are a little bit taller than Tiny Tot over here, it might be a little bit more difficult.
Making short jokes about a dwarf? That seems beneath you. Sorry, Grak, I couldn't resist.
I've never heard of a better plan than following the tracks because that's where they're going. So I think that is perfect.
Great.
Ser Doran's all about it.
And so I followed my 3 new partners, following the wolves with no plan, following the man who looks like he just recently got mauled by wolves. Wasn't the best situation. And like a kobold in a downtown brothel, I knew things were about to get sticky. End monologue.
At some point, going through the woods, Grak is gonna turn around mid monologue and say, "Shut up, lad! You're gonna attract more wolves. Maybe keep it
The
inside
dwarf
your
screamed
brain."
at me, raging, his face going red.
Whether
I wasn't sure what he was so angry for. I was just staring at him, watching, patiently waiting. I'm just monologuing over him yelling at me. Just
yeah, exactly.
Ron feels like this is his birthday and is just like
The dwarf
skipping
grows
through the
angry.
woods.
He takes a step towards me. I can feel the tension rising. He looks up at me. Hard to be intimidated by a man that small, but also hard not to be intimidated by a man that strong. I was confused, drifting, aimless, scared. You can continue. I'm just going to keep monologuing over you. You were saying something?
Oh gosh.
Just following the wolf tracks. I'm saying which direction are the tracks heading, Dungeon Master?
They are heading north, which was your destination.
Towards Rettin?
Yeah, I think that they
Oh, that's
literally
right. They were
said
going-
something about going
were
back
from Rettin.
Rettin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said they originally said they were,
Right.
and then that they were. Gonna
So
go
we're
see the
kind of
boys.
like here in the forest somewhere,
You guys are south of Rettin.
and we're
If I
heading
had
north
to-
towards Rettin.
Yep. If I had to put it exactly, probably at the bottom of that R, and that's canon. That's exactly where your
Okay.
campsite is. It will be referenced multiple times through this whole campaign, so make sure you remember.
As the group's walking, Doran's armor seems to change, but it just never seems to get any better. It just seems to be
Mhm.
different shades of wrong, and gets a little frustrated by it.
Some point during the walk, Brom kind of falls back a little bit. If anyone looks behind, you see Brom pull a mirror from his pocket and check his eyes, and then put it away.
I fully monologue that out loud. Over my shoulder, I notice that the elf steps behind me, takes out a mirror and checks his eyes, hoping no one will notice what I noticed before, but it's okay. His secret's safe with me.
I would like to sneakily trip Detective Dick Donovan.
These mouths.
If Dick Donovan has the observant feet, bring it
Just
on.
before he hits the secret, just before he hits the secret safe with me,
Mhm.
that's when she wants to trip him.
Yeah.
So let's just go stealth for his perception for this random.
Detective Dick Donovan doesn't roll perception. He perceives. I have a 20 passive perception, so I'm just going to roll with that. Oh, damn it.
That would be
I
a
knew.
22 for me.
That her secret would be...
Yeah.
As I wipe the mud off my face and look around embarrassed at my companions, I think to myself, what the hell just happened? This must be this new body. I have to calm them now. They need to be able to rely on me in these sorts of times, and tripping on my face isn't a good start. It's okay, guys. I got that squirrel. I dust myself off, and I continue walking forward.
There's a clue on the floor.
He's like, look, a footprint. It's my own. Crap.
Yeah. Still, I'm looking over my shoulder trying to figure out what the hell I tripped on.
Okay, so you guys are gonna you are on your way to Rettin. It's been like 2 to 3 hours from where you currently are. You are following a combination of the road, occasionally the wolf tracks if they go a little bit off of the road, but you generally know the direction which you're going. The wolf tracks are coinciding with the general direction of the town that you are heading towards. Is there anything that you guys want to discuss before you get there? I'll say you're like a half an hour away from the main gates at this point.
So we unleashed potentially talking wolves on the town of Rettin. We should have our stories straight about why they're talking if we encounter some distressed inhabitants.
I'm gonna go on a. Doran's gonna go on a limb and say the wolves are probably back to normal by now. I mean, Abelard already changed. I'm sure the spirits are gone. Everything will be fine when we walk in there. There definitely won't be half a dozen wolves attacking the town. I'm sure it'll be all right.
I watched the man of faith praying to his God that everything would somehow work out okay without intervention. I shook my head. It must be nice to live with such hope, but it must be painful to live as such a fool.
Wait, what? Like Doran pulls out his holy symbol. He's like, "Wait, what?" And he puts it back.
Yeah. I just keep smoking a cigarette halfway and then dramatically putting out on the floor and then pulling another cigarette from the bag.
The bag being, he's kind of just pulling them out of thin air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's something that you guys have seen Abelard do in the past, or Abelard's inhabitants.
Brom leans into Ser Doran and says, should we be worried about Abelard chain smoking?
I mean, he's young. It'll probably heal or regenerate. If not, I'm sure we can find something at the temple for it.
I mean, I don't want to pay for an endless supply of cigarettes once this guy leaves.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we have done a lot of research about nicotine dependency yet, but I guess we'll find out. As far as the wolves go, if they are possessed still, I'm all for just having Grak bash them in the head and putting them out of their miseries and moving on with our lives. Otherwise, I don't really know what else we could do with these things. We can't run around with 6 wolves and Abelard and expecting anything done.
Yeah. I was going to say, Grak seems perfectly content with that plan of attack.
I would like to thank Grak, by the way, for filling me in on everything that's been happening over the past half hour in between chapters. That was excellent exposition, Grak. Thank you very much.
So what happens when we arrive at the border of Rettin?
She asked the sky, hoping her god would answer.
I wasn't sure. I'm like, wow, it's weird that they're not. Oh, me, yes.
Just enjoying the show.
Crazy enough, Detective Dick Donovan knew that there was a voice besides his own that most would listen to. And that voice says, as the group approaches the town, you guys are within like 2-minute walk. You guys see the slight walls which surround it about like 6 feet tall. You see the big gate in front, and you guys notice that there's no guards at the gate. And if you've been here before, or if you haven't, customarily, especially with walls and a gate, there are guards, if nothing else, to make sure that super shifty people aren't coming through, or at the very least to collect some sort of unofficial tax similar to the one at the docks, but hopefully of less of a denomination. But yeah, so there are no guards, and the gates are actually slightly ajar. So you guys are free to...
fuck, not again.
Yeah.
We found a town looking like this. We ended up fighting shadow things. That was unpleasant.
And
apparently something is amiss here. Are there supposed to be guards outside the gate?
Yes.
See, that's a problem then. Well then, it's only one thing to do. We're going in.
So
I just start walking towards the town.
So Doran's going to take a precursory look around the area to see if there are wolf tracks or blood piles, anything like that.
Okay,
in case the cultists have been here.
Make a survival check for me, please, Ser Doran.
All right. I am the most... Oh, 17. I rolled a 13.
Okay. You're looking around. The ground is slightly damp from a recent rain, so you are able to see slight indentation of animal tracks that are going on the main road towards the gate. Not horse tracks, though. It is wolf tracks, or you would assume some sort of animal that's not a gigantic beast of burden of sorts. And you see them as they all converge right at the gate and just kind of go inside.
All right. Doran will point out to the rest of the group that looks like the wolves have beat them here, which is to be expected. So just kind of follow them down the main thoroughfare.
Brom, you notice, hangs back just a little bit, pulls his hood out like real far, pulls out his bow, and is kind of just hanging in at the back of the party, ready to shoot some wolves if they come near Grak, because he's fairly certain the Grak will actually strangle him in his sleep if he doesn't kill some wolves.
I point back over my shoulder.
Grak.
Go ahead.
No. Yours is more entertaining.
I point back over my shoulder at Brom and go, "You, shifty-looking guy, you and me. I get a feeling we're the most accustomed to moving around without making sound. Let's go in. Let's go check it out. See what we can find. You two, stay here. Lay low. We'll be back."
Oh no, this is a terrible idea. All right.
I will absolutely disregard what the 15-year-old kid newbie chain smoker. I feel like the kid should be hacking his lungs up at this point. Like, Detective Dick Donovan is a hardcore smoker, but Abelard has probably never touched this stuff, so he is just like,
that's fair.
Just dying.
I feel extremely nauseous. It's not great.
So
it's totally fine.
Yeah. I'm just trying to play it off cool.
Grak's job is to keep the kid alive, so he's gonna follow this hacking, wheezing, sort of half vomiting smokestack of a teenager inside, just kind of hanging back to make sure the kid doesn't feel too smothered or whatever. But he's definitely gonna be within striking range if anything tries to jump out at essentially a walking smoke machine.
As the obvious thief and I move to sneak into the town, I hear the sounds of shuffling feet and heavy breathing behind me and turn to see the dwarf following me. I should have known those instructions were too complicated for a man of his birth. I considered trying to pantomime my instructions to convey them through physical mimicry, but I realized that, if anything, he might assume it's some sort of a primal display, a mating ritual, or a challenge. Instead, I shake my head, shrug to my roguelike companion, and just proceed as normal to town.
Brom will, in fact, sneak ahead of the group, scouting and trying to see what's ahead.
Okay, so you all four in some particular order, kind of like Brom, Detective Dig Donovan, Grak, and then Ser Doran in the rear. You all make your way through the gates. As soon as you approach, you notice that something's up. Like, nobody's out on the street. There are a few of the mobile merchant carts that are out there, a few goods that are on the floor, but there seem to be no people. At every door and window that you guys approach is currently boarded shut. Not board like hurricane board, but just shut and locked. You don't see any sign of movement on the streets. You don't hear any voices. It seems like a ghost town currently. What do you guys want to do?
Can I just find a building that looks like a public building? If there's like a tavern, a roadside inn, a merchant shop, and if it's boarded up and like that, can I just take a look around, see if I can hear anything inside, or see if I can get a sense for, like, was this done in a hurry? Was this, like, did they have warning?
Yeah, make an investigation check. What do you three want to do?
Brom would like to climb up to a nearby roof and take a look around from above.
Okay. Make a
3,
perception
solid.
check for me.
Yeah, I rolled an 8 total.
Okay, so
Brom
As
rolled a 9.
We're not doing great here.
We're doing good.
so before I go on to you two, Grak and Ser Doran, what do you want to do? And I'll do all the descriptions at once.
Grak is he can kind of see which way the tracks are going, right? He can see that they're going deeper into the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only other option. Straight into the
So
middle
he's
of the
going to
city.
kind of go, like, plant himself between wherever the tracks are leading to and the kid who is currently smoking and coughing behind him, just in case the wolves decide to come back. He's not. He knows his place is not to find things or to look for things. It's pretty much just to hit things. So he's preparing to do that.
Okay.
And Ser Doran's going to look for the tallest building in the town. Usually the church, they have the chapels, the steeples. So he's going to look for that, assuming that's the center of town and probably where all the action is. So that's
Okay,
kind of Doran.
so Ser Doran, you can make a perception check for me too. Let's start with Detective Dig Donovan. As you approach the tavern that currently has all of the windows shut and all of the doors currently shut and locked, and as you try to investigate between your coughing and hacking and wheezing and talking to yourself, it just seems like
You see
everything.
here, Grak, boarded up. Wood, if I had to guess.
It just seems like you really can't make out anything inside. If there were sounds, they were definitely covered up by the current wheezing of your lungs. Brom, you're up on a roof. You're trying to see things. The main thing that you see again is that there's really no one on the street. You could kind of see way out at the other side of town, which is a really big town. You do see the occasional person who's walking in a street, seemingly unaware of what is going on this side of the town. But and we got Ser Doran, right? Ser Doran, you
17.
in a very nice 17 roll. So in a very good stroke of luck, you're able to see right down the main thoroughfare, probably like I don't know, half a mile away is this huge, beautiful steeple that goes into the air, and you recognize the designs of the Church of Lathander.
All right.
I start walking away from the building. Just as I took a look around the scene of the crime, nothing jumped out to me. No details, no clues. Sterile. Whoever did this had to have been a professional to clean up a scene like this. Knew everything that a man of my profession would look for. I have to admit that, just like that case with the beholder and the sex doll, I was getting confused and worried.
Correct. Real quick, I want you to make a perception check for me too, please.
All right. It's hilarious that the guy can't find anything, and it's just like a ton of wolf tracks through the city.
Yeah, nothing.
So,
There's
Grak,
nothing here.
as you see Detective Dick Donovan walk away from the tavern that he was just currently scouting out, as he probably gets about like 50 feet away from it, you actually see one of the shutters of the window creak open a little bit, and someone is peeking out, and they see you guys, and they see that you were looking at them, and then it reshuts.
I'm gonna call it out. Hey, Detective Donovan, there's someone inside that building.
That's the building that you just came from.
Good job, Grak. I knew you had it in you.
All
right. Let's just knock on the door, see what they have to say for themselves. I walk up to the front and just... Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD. It's okay. The dwarf is with me. We have some questions for you.
Make a persuasion check for me real quick.
21.
21 total.
Oh man.
After a little bit of hesitating and a few scuffling sounds, you hear a voice inside. It's just like, 1 second, sir. And then you kind of, again, they peek out of the window and they're just like, come on inside quick. It's really dangerous there. And they open up the front door of the tavern, invite you guys inside.
I guess Grak and I go in.
Brom jumps in from above, and we all go in.
Yeah, Doran will follow him in.
Freaks the shit out of the person.
Yeah. person
okay.
Definitely lets out a squeak.
Like I said, and with South City PD, these people are all with me.
South City PD.
I have some questions for you, ma'am. What's the person look like?
Okay. The person who you're talking to, she's a human female. She's probably like 50. She's wearing an apron. It looks like she works in this establishment. Looks a little bit frazzled.
Man, my deputies and I have been tracking a pack of wolves, been rampant in the countryside here. Smarter than your average wolf, more dangerous by far. We have reason to believe they've entered the town. What have you seen?
Oh my god. Do you guys mean the demon wolves?
That sounds about right.
They were...
I saw the cleric get excited at the mention of demons.
It's his fetish.
Oh, gosh.
They were like, I'm not sure if they were possessed by demons or by Asmodeus himself, but they were talking and started to rip people apart and then drag them into the side streets, and they were just like talking demon wolves. Oh my god.
The wolves were talking to each other.
Yeah, that sounds like them. Where were they? I think we were done investigating here.
They just kind of came running in, and they were dragging the guards from outside with them, and then they were...
Ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm down. You sound hysteric.
and she starts panicking more as she realizes it.
Listen, man, I know my role. I slap her. Calm down.
And she starts crying hysterically at this point, and she's just like, first the demons, and now...
The woman evolved into a blubbering mess. Apparently she was scared, far too bad to be of any more use to us. Still, the information she gave to us was worrisome. I looked around to see if there's anyone else to question.
You say that, and like 3 other people start backing up into the corners of the inn, and like put chairs in between them, stuff like that. One like small kid is already protecting his cheeks. He's like, "Oh no, sir!" there are 3 more people if you want to interview them, and the woman is just kind of crying in her
Yeah,
chair now.
I'll leave the crying woman and the kid alone. Who are the other 2?
2 men who just look like they were not working and enjoying a drink.
Local drunks.
Brom kind of quietly goes over to Ser Doran and says, I feel like talking to scared civilians is more your kind of thing. I'm going to distract the kid. And I wrap my arm again around Detective Dick Donovan and say, I think we missed something outside. I think there's some tracks.
What? We missed a clue.
They said
we need to
side
find it
streets.
immediately.
We have to go look at the side streets.
I walk outside.
So
Do you say that, or do you actually do it? To clarify.
I walk outside.
I say that as I walk outside.
Okay. I need to clarify in situations such as this.
Yeah. Doran takes the not so subtle hint. He orders a double round for everybody in the establishment and heads over to the corner to try to chat up the people. Just saying, hey, listen, it sounds like it's pretty clear cut what's going on here. Does anybody see where these wolves went or had any idea where they were going? So we can try to take care of them for you guys and get them out of your hair.
Okay, and I'll assume by order another round, everyone, as you're like, another round for everyone, and everyone's looking at this crying woman who just got smacked in the face by a detective, and that's Brom's cue to just go behind the bar and pull out a bottle and just start pouring drinks for everybody on the house.
I think Brom was heading out with Dick, so I think Grak would do that. I think that was Grak's job.
So Grak will gladly tap a few kegs and just start pouring drinks for everybody in excess.
Grak is gonna tap a few kegs. He's gonna tap a few kegs and start drinking as all this is going on. And then as when he realizes, he's like, "Oh, fine. I guess I'll have to share." And he starts pouring for everybody.
3 mugs down, and then he realizes
he's gonna find best bottle of dwarven whiskey in the house, whatever. Even if it's water inside, but the bottle says dwarven whiskey on it, and he's just gonna kind of pocket it.
So I guess the real important question here, Grak, is what kind of alcohol do you give to the small kid? That's what everyone wants to really know.
Fermented milk. It's the perfect midway ground.
Goat's milk. Fermented goat's milk.
Yogurt.
Yeah. Fermented milk. We're not sure how Grak made it, but he hands this beautiful glass of frothy fermented milk to a child who's like, thank you, sir.
Sometimes it's better not to ask questions.
And he's like, good laddie. And Ser Doran, you were talking to that gentleman there. He's just like, I'm sorry, sir. I got so distracted by the spectacle that was going on. What was your question for me?
I just want to know if anybody has any idea which direction those wolves were heading after they were here, so we can help hunt them down for you guys.
Oh, they said something about the boys' club of Rettin, but that thing got destroyed 6 months ago. They're finally rebuilding it, but it seems like it's going to be open in 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know why wolves are going to the boys' club of Rettin. It doesn't make sense. The last show we had was that great one with those professional fighters. What were their names? Bacho Man and Mick Hare. I forget. I'm not into that fighting stuff. But so yeah, it's north. It's towards that big chapelish direction. You guys will see it off to the side. That's where they said that they were going. They were talking. They're evil. If you're a man of the cloth, hopefully you would just call upon your god and just turn them all into ash. That's what you do, right?
Smite them. That's about right. So I thank them for Ser Doran thanks them for their aid. He wrangles Grak from behind the bar, who's just slamming down booze as fast as he can, dragging him out of the bar to wrangle Brom and
and amazingly he says nothing to defend himself.
As you're dragging him out, he's literally holding a keg and still pouring it into a mug and drinking it. And you're like, how's this small dude holding so much weight one-handed, drinking it while being dragged? But
this is just a normal Friday.
He does it as an expert. So At this point, you guys go outside. Detective Donovan and Brom, what were you two doing real quick when you were outside?
I obviously went to the side streets looking for these killer wolves. He told me I missed a clue. Like,
Okay.
personal insult.
Brom
just walking
has
through the
literally
alleyways, yeah.
just been pointing at random objects, asking, "Is that a clue?" This entire time, giving Ser Doran and Grak time to work.
I will. Yeah. So you guys go through about like 5 minutes of that, and then you.
I could tell that the elf was trying to distract me from the true work here. Questions flooded through my mind. Was he in on it? What was his link to the wolves? Was he the reason that poor dwarf looked like he'd been mauled by wolves recently? I wasn't sure if I'd get the answers I was looking for, but I knew for one thing. I was in danger.
Oh boy.
And as you guys are still investigating, you guys hear a clue that's coming from the front of the tavern. And you guys quickly rush up there, and you see Ser Doran, who's dragging out a Grak, who is currently finishing his final mug of ale.
A semi-cooperative Grak.
Yes, that's why, hence dragging. Okay, so you guys are all out front. Anything that you want to say or
I
do?
say out loud in front of these two. Now that I have my suspicions basically confirmed that the elf Brom was in on it and directing these wolves to attack the people of the town, I couldn't help but wonder if his companions were in on it too. I wanted to trust the man I saw behind those eyes, those doll-like eyes with no intelligence that was Grak Skullcrusher. And the man of the cloth or the plate in this case, like Ser Doran, seemed like he could be. But if they were openly traveling with this monster, this Pied Piper of wolves, how could I possibly know for sure?
And Grak is like, did he call me dull or a dull? Either way, I'm not liking it, lad.
Yeah.
You better watch your mouth, or I'll show you what
The
happens.
dwarf got
when you
angry
meet-
once again, ranting at me incohesively.
Durin cues in Brom that the folks in town told him to head north, look for the building under construction. That would be the boys' club, and that's where we'll find him. And if we remember, just from a few hours ago, they were talking about the boys' club, so that's got to be the place to be. So
Let's go find some wolves. Apparently, I'm the Pied Piper of wolves, so let's go make some trouble. Brom looks delighted, probably because he's imagining all the trouble he can heap on Grak.
Okay, so you guys start to make your way down in that direction. As you guys get to a far enough area away where you feel that you might be nearing the zone that you're looking for, how do you want to approach this? Fast and furious, normal swagger, stealthy, split up, stay together? What you guys want to do?
Okay, gang. Split up and search for clues.
I feel like we've already got the one clue that we need. Go to the boys' club because that's where the wolves are. How many clues are we looking for here?
If you're going to build a cohesive case against someone, you have to have as many clues as possible, Grak. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. If you want to show people someone bad, you need many things to make people believe so.
Grak is gonna kind of unsling his maul and kind of like thump the head on his hand. Oh,
My
Grak
enforcer
doesn't need
prepared
much
for
in the way.
battle. I spun around looking for danger. Was it the wolves? Had Brom finally decided to betray us? I couldn't spot what he did. But as animalistic as he was, I had to trust in his instincts. I reached down into the magical cigarette-giving bag and pull out an alley piece, a hand crossbow, prepare myself for battle.
Okay, so Detective Donovan, are you still splitting up and looking for clues, or are you guys just progressing ahead?
I'm going to follow them, but I just feel like I had to say that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Grak's gonna go through the front door, as Grak tends to do.
yeah, Doran's feeling pretty confident we're in the right place, so he's not going to take time to
Brom
time.
is going to try to stealthily approach, letting his companions be the diversion so that he can, get a shot off at a wolf if one tries to bite, mostly Detective Dick Donovan. If it wants to bite Grak, it's old news.
Okay, so as you guys start to go in, you see that the place is still under construction. It took a severe beating at some point, and they're in the process of rebuilding it. But as you get like a few steps in, you guys hear a loud scream and actually some chanting, but it's not from the building that you're currently in. It sounds like it's about like 2 blocks away from where you guys currently are.
Unsurprisingly, everyone was wrong about this being the only place to find clues, as we hear sounds of distress coming from down the road. I should have gone with my instincts, but instead I let myself be led astray. And then I run in the direction of the screams.
Okay.
Oh, bloody hell. Not again. There he goes, lad. And I'm going to chase after him.
Yeah, so you guys watch Abelard's body just run directly into danger away from you guys, and you take up chase.
These teenagers have so much energy.
Running, I'm just like,
Grak's chugging along with his little legs. Doran's got played on.
No, it's
terrible.
Abelard isn't going to take more than like 5 steps before like passing out from too much nicotine.
Oh, that smells
Brom just casually jogs past Ser Doran in his plate armor and Grak, panting and wheezing from before, and like up to Abelard and says, "Hey kid, you won't want to slow down there just a little bit? You're coughing an awful lot here. Last time you coughed that way, bad things
Distraction. I pick up the pace. using my cunning action to double dash.
So Detective Donovan doubles down and tries to put as much distance between you guys and the going towards the threat as he can. So as you guys approach and turn the corner from where these screams come from, it's pretty obvious where the sound came from. So you guys turn the corner as a group, and you guys see a female elf, some sort of magic user, who's behind a magical glimmering shield, and the shield, it seems to be flickering slightly. In front of her on the ground is this big circle, probably about 10 feet across. It's glowing with the perimeter in this like glowing blue chalk that are runes that are covering the circle. You guys currently see 2 wolves that are in front of you guys, or I'm sorry, in front of her, like snapping at her shields and trying to get through. And she calls out, a little bit of help, please.
Sure.
Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD. It's okay, man. We're here to help.
Brom catches up.
and she's
No,
like,
we're
and,
actually here to help.
and when would that help be coming? I'm a little bit.
As soon as the dwarf catches up, he's kind of our enforcer.
He's very slow.
Just hear huffing and puffing coming from down the alleyway.
Does Ser Doran outpace me too? Like, am I literally the slowpoke of the group?
Well, yes, but no at the same time.
Yeah.
Because while technically, yes, I have more movement speed than you, at this point, I'm probably just as tired of you from running around. So,
No, that plate mail. All right.
Whether it's speed or being in the building first, the rest of the people managed to beat you to the scene by a few seconds.
Sure.
Well, Grak sees the wolves, and he's gonna do what Grak does when he sees wolves. He's gonna swing his maul and hit something.
Perfect.
Okay. So as you start charging in, she's just like, "No, you simpleton," and she kind of. You hear her muttering about the stupidity of dwarves. You're not exactly sure what she's saying, but she's just like, "God."
She gets it.
It just, and she's like, "Not these 2, the ones that ran off. I need them in the circle, please. Put them in the circle. I could only hold this for a few more seconds. Why are you still here looking at me? Why have you not begun to
check this? Does she seem like she's like the mastermind here, or is she trying to help? Are we cannon fodder?
Make an insight check. The rest of you guys can make perception checks for me real quick.
24.
Damn.
Natural 19.
Okay.
All good.
Grak does it.
18 perception.
Nice. Grak has a 16 perception, 13 plus 3. So as you guys are approaching this, and good perception for Ser Doran too, a 19. So Detective Donovan, the first thing you realize is she is putting on a show, but she's trying to act calmer than she is. She is in a little bit of a panic. You do see a bunch of sweat that's dripping down, or you do see that her shields are failing. You do see that she's a little bit panicked. But she seems to genuinely be trying to do something in this situation with the wolves, but you're not exactly sure. As the rest of you guys look around, you do see that the other 4 wolves are nearby and in sight, but spread out. The first wolf that you guys see is in one corner. It looks like he's currently biting on the arm of a person who's unconscious, and it looks like he's bleeding from a lot of different bite wounds. The second wolf, it's got a small child that's trapped in the corner. It's a small kid, probably like 9 or 10, and he's holding like a decent-sized branch. He's trying to keep the wolf at bay, as if it's like a small sword, as the wolf is slowly stalking in on its prey in the corner. The third wolf, in a different area, it seems to be crying, and you've never really seen a wolf cry. You've never really seen an animal cry. You may have seen it like whimper, stuff like that. This wolf is straight up sobbing, and as it's sobbing, it's like, ah. Oh wait, what was the wolf voice? Oh, James, I'm so sorry, James. I love you so much. You're the love of my life, but I just can't help myself, and I gotta do what I gotta do. And it looks pained, and it looks like it's about to attack a gentleman who's on the ground with a twisted ankle, and the gentleman is holding his ankle in pain. And the fourth wolf, in a separate area, it's standing over a stack of papers, and it looks like there's a dead body that's next to him. And the dead body has the uniform of like an official not really a town guard member, but a uniform of someone who works for the town. Best guess would be like he's some sort of paperwork guy, administrative guy. And this wolf looks like he's kind of going through the papers on the ground, moving all the papers around with his snout.
Brom kind of calls everyone into a huddle and says, listen, 4 wolves, 4 of us. Let's divide and conquer here.
Agreed.
Detective, you're good with information. There's a wolf right there reading things. How about you go get that one?
I can check that out, but the other 3 look like hostage situations. Those can get ugly. You sure you don't want the
you
expert?
would be good for children. Can you go comfort that child and also kill a wolf?
What about the guy who's dying on the ground?
You
He could
take
use
that
some
one.
healing. I don't have any way to heal him.
But you kill wolves very fast.
My eyebrows shoot up as the dwarf somehow outwits the elf.
Well, I'm gonna go keep palling around with that wolf over there. We had a rapport, so I'm on that one.
Which one's that?
The one talking to his friend he's about to eat. So I'm gonna hurry.
All right, so I'm gonna say, so Doran, go heal the one who's about to die. I'll protect the child with the wolf branch defense.
Okay.
Okay, so who wants to go first? Okay, Ser Doran.
Sure.
You're first.
He spoke first.
So,
You're the
yeah,
first one to make a slate sound. So which one are you doing?
I guess I'm going after the one with the injured or unconscious person.
Chewing on the guy's arm, I think. He was
Yeah,
saying.
so I'm going to head over there. And the first thing I want to do, Ser Doran will do, is use Healing Word to heal the person on the ground.
Okay, so you use Healing Word. You do a little chant as you hold your holy symbol. You wiggle your arms and hands and fingers in a certain way, and all of a sudden some of the wounds start to close up a small bit, and the gentleman, he sits up and he's just like, what is my arm, and starts freaking out as this wolf is still chewing on his arm.
Yeah, so
what's step 2 of the plan?
Step 2 of the plan, this is I can't cast another spell this turn. Doran will ready his mace and shield, banging the mace on the shield to try to get the wolf's attention. Basically taunting him like, hey, remember me? We just bashed half your buddies' heads in, trying to get his attention as I get over there.
Okay, he looks up and he's like, oh, you guys, no. What do you want to do next?
Well, as soon as I can cast a spell, I would like to cast a spell.
Okay, what spell is that?
So, Doran would like to cast Mirror Image, making 3 more of him show up.
Okay.
And then close in on the wolf, thinking that'll probably scare the crap out of it. Having 4 clerics, clerics running around at full plate, and then attack him. That's kind of my plan. I didn't really get told otherwise what to do, so.
Okay. Just a reminder in case I wasn't clear, although this will probably happen anyway, but the woman did want the 4 wolves in the circle, but also
but she
your
didn't
humanity may kick in a small bit, and you may actually save people over that. So it's fully up to you guys what you want to do. So
Doran's plan is to bludgeon it without killing it, which is why Doran's not just blasting it with spells, and that's kind of where we're going to go. So I don't know how it's going to work, but that's the plan.
Okay, Ser Doran, make me an intimidation check as you go running in there.
Sure. One of my best skills. Not one of my best skills. Doran rolls a solid 4 for a total of 5 for intimidating this wolf.
Okay.
Does it get multiplied by 4 because there's 4 of me?
So whoever is, I mean, you scored a 2 on your intimidation check, and each of your clones scored a 1 for a total of 5. That's how it worked out. So whoever is watching sees Ser Doran after healing this gentleman who wakes up to the pleasure of having a wolf gnawing on his arm and ripping it apart. He pops into 4 Ser Dorans. Same. Normally a spell like this for the cultured magical users of the world would know that this spell creates 4 identical clones of the same person, indistinguishable. For some reason, when Ser Doran did it, all 4 of them are different color schemes.
Oh,
and the wolf looks at this. The wolf looks at these 4 as he's like, oh, I'm scary. And the wolf just starts laughing and laughing so hard. And he's like, you think with those outfits I'm going to be intimidated with you? Oh, this is going to be so easy. And he's going to attack you. Perfect. So he'll actually make an attack on you real quick. What's your armor class?
21.
He will just barely hit you with the 21.
Is he going to hit me or one of my clones?
Oh, that's a good question. I got to roll. So you will be the 1 for this. He hits a clone. He jumps through the clone and is kind of confused and is standing there. It's your turn now. You're in melee range if you want. What you want to do?
I'm going to crack him. Crack him in the head.
Okay. Crack him in the head with the intent to knock him out. Make your attack.
Correct. My trusty Lucille. Does she let me down? Oh no, Lucille, only a 10. I don't think that's gonna cut it.
Even for a wolf, a 10 will not cut it. He's going to make another swipe at you. This time he is going to just miss straight up as with that swing. He was going to jump in at a different clone, but the miss swing, it kind of has him back on his heels. It's your turn. What you want to do?
So as Wolf and Doran are going back and forth, Doran's going to kind of position himself between the wolf and the person that it was gnawing on to try to help him out.
Okay.
And then he'll take another swing, hoping that the clones will keep the wolf engaged in what's going on here. This time, Doran tries to line up a little better strike, and rolling an 8, I get a 14 for my hit.
A 14 will hit.
For 7 damage.
7 damage. So you clock him in the head, trying to knock him out cold, and it looks shaken. It looks like he's like, "Oh, what the hell? How does purple and orange and cream and teal? None of these colors make sense, and this guy hit me. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, don't tell my friends." I'll make another attack at you. Another 21. He's gonna hit you.
Ooh.
Oh
Come
no,
on,
he's
clones.
going to clones. He's gonna hit you though this time.
Oh man.
The least or most garish of the clones. He's not certain which.
Yeah. It's just his name.
They're all combined. It's like a hypnotic pattern of just horrendous decisions.
Are wolves like dogs colorblind, or can they see enough to realize just how garish Ser Doran really is? Like to
I think
appreciate
Doran
the
takes it as
magnitude.
more of an
Yeah.
insult.
Yeah.
They're like, like a colorblind wolf is mocking me. This is terrible.
Mm-hmm. A normal wolf can't see. They are pretty much colorblind, but due to the discrepancy in color schemes and style, they still recognize this. It's pretty rough. This one's gonna do 9 points of damage to you, Ser
Oh,
Doran.
that hurts. So Doran is just upset. He's getting mocked by this wolf. He's having a hard time with it. He felt like this was going to be nice and easy. Muttering to himself about this is why he dropped out of paladin school. He's going to heft his mace a little more, a little tighter and swing again at the wolf. Channeling that inner frustration of his years in Lathander school, he gets a 22 for a whopping 8 damage.
Damn. So you get very tight and upset, and you swing it, and as the wolf jumps at one of your clones, just a thickening thud, dunk, and just the wolf falls to the ground, definitely unconscious, possibly dying. And your dude's unconscious. The guy on the ground who you left, he's barely conscious. He's just like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. You saved my life." And he starts like dragging himself off.
Yeah. So Doran will just check the wolf to see if it looks like he crushed its skull in or if it's going to make it. And then drag the wolf towards the circle, and then I'll tend to the wounds of the guy who's bleeding from his stump, it looks like, while everybody else is doing their thing.
Okay. The first wolf is contained. Who's up next?
As I approached the wolf, I felt confused, not sure what to do. More of a people person. I've never dealt with animals. Like an orc in kindergarten, I felt truly out of my depth. Unsure what to do with the situation, decided to treat it like any other case. I saw him thumbing through the papers, or I guess pawing through them. What was he? Blackmail? Bereaved husband? Cuckolded and looking for evidence? I wasn't sure. All I knew was one thing. I need to gain control of this situation. Detective Dick Donovan, South City PD. I'm going to just step away from the papers and keep those claw sheets, sir.
Okay, so you were going for the wolf that is going through the stack of papers with the dead uniformed administrator next to him, and he's just like, "Detective who?"
South City PD, sir. I need you to step away from those papers.
Listen
Here,
okay.
you and your friends are guilty of breaking the 442. I don't want to have to bust you all.
Could I see your badge, sir?
Absolutely. I reach in my bag and pull a badge.
The
Okay,
wolf is
make me-
playing along.
Make me a persuasion check real
I
quick.
feel like these wolves are
Let's
used
see.
to getting busted by the police, it sounds like, so they know the deal.
5.
Okay, so you reach into this bag, which you could clearly see in your bind as being your trusty detective saddle
Detective fan attack, yeah.
satchel. Yeah. Whoever is watching again from this place where he's drawing out all of these cigarettes like crazy, he reaches into it and he's like, "My badge, here's my badge." And unfortunately, you pull out cease and desist orders, Detective Donovan. stating that you don't have authority in this current jurisdiction, that this is your 5th warning, and that when you get back to headquarters, you're going to be placed on administrative leave pending an investigation.
I stare at the papers, shocked, confused, but ultimately uncaring. Detective Dick Donovan doesn't play by the rules. The badge isn't what makes the man, it's the man that makes the badge. I've knew many cops in my day. And me, I wasn't going to let some red tape tie me up from doing what needed to be done. I turned back to the perp. No, I don't have a badge, but I'll tell you something, buddy. You and your friends here, you're in big trouble. You busted in this town. You haven't given a reason, warning. You're attacking, threatening children. I'm giving you a chance. You either talk to me, or you talk to that crazy son of a bitch dwarf with the hammer over there.
He looks at you for a few seconds, and seeing that he has a sort of an ear to hear him out and someone to actually listen and not immediately take action, he's just like, I mean, have you seen this? This guy, this stupid tax collector, like, oh God, I don't want to go through the whole tax system, but I knew that I paid my taxes on time. I mean, I'm not quite a law-abiding citizen exactly, but if there are 2 things that hold true in this world, it's death and taxes. And I always pay him. And then he came and he shook me and my family down and he said I didn't file the proper extra papers and a 2469 paper and the 1333 easy 5 form, and I knew I did.
1333. I hate to tell you, my friend, but he's taking you for a ride.
I know that now, and I got the proof to clear by name. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm innocent. We got to bring this all the way up to the top. So what do you say, detective? Can you help me clear by name and the name of my family?
There are 2 things in this world that frost my ass. A snow cone about waist high and corrupt officials. I'm in.
Okay. So what do we do from here, detective?
You say you think the evidence in these papers here? Let me have a look at those. I would like to go sort through the papers and see if I can find evidence of corruption in this tax collector.
For simplicity's sake, I'm going to say that the wolves already pointed it out, and it's pretty clear that the tax collector...
Cut and dry case, my furry friend. This man's guilty of at least 5 crimes I can think of, and while I may not be a detective in this local area, I'm sure that common decency laws still apply. You listen here. I'll take these to my direct superior, Captain Todd. We'll sort this out right away, but for now, sir, I'm going to need you to go back over and join your friends at the circle in the center. The situation has got out of control, and I could still use your cooperation in making sure that things don't get dangerous.
Okay. I trust you, and I believe you, and if you're going to help my family get better, what else do I have to lose? I mean, I'm a goddamn talking wolf.
The only thing worse in this world than justice not being served is justice being falsely served. I'll clear this mess up. You have my word as Detective Dick Donovan.
And he's just going to go up and just kind of go to the edge of the circle and sit down in it and just... He's
As
looking
I flip
at you.
through the papers in front of me, still not sure what the hell I was looking at. I'm not a tax man. I don't know this country's paperwork. I simply said what I thought the wolf needed to hear in order to calm him down. After all, I was still reeling from the revelation that the wolf was paying taxes. But I knew one thing. My talents, extreme, precise, beautiful, and many, were used excellently in this situation. And while I thought myself more of a hostage negotiator looking over at Ser Doran, bludgeoning the wolf into unconsciousness with a mace, I began to think to myself, maybe these people aren't cut out to be cops after all. And
Minneapolis.
so will end my section of the wolf story.
Just the fact that the wolf bought into this shared delusion is the greatest part of this.
Okay, so as the wolf...
Grak will go next.
Yeah. Okay, so Grak is up next. Which one are you taking, Grak?
I've got the one that's attacking the kid.
Okay. So your wolf has a small child trapped in the corner. This kid's got a small branch trying to keep it at bay, but you know that the wolf is getting ready to pounce and rip this kid to smithereens.
So Grak is gonna go and he's gonna he's gonna grab the wolf from behind and like throw it towards the circle, like with the intent of like grappling it and knocking it into the circle. So
Okay.
it's an athletics, right? That I'm rolling.
Just grappling it and manhandling it into the circle.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Roll. We're gonna do a. How are you gonna
feel
approach
like
it? Are you just gonna sprint up at it? Or are you gonna try to sneak up on him?
Who are you talking to?
Okay.
It's like a football tackle, and because Greg's got a really low center of gravity, how heavy is this wolf?
He's
by
gonna
the way?
spear him. He's gonna give him the spear.
No.
It's within your throwing capacity. The wolf, he seems so focused on its prey, it doesn't even hear you stomping up behind it. So make a athletics check.
All right, here we go. Athletics check for a.
You rolled a 7 plus 5, 12. So right now you got it by the hind legs. It's kind of digging in. It was in like mid pounce. So you stopped it from jumping at this kid, and it looks behind it, and he's like, "Huh? What the hell? Who just touches a man's legs up that high without at least buying a man a drink first? What the hell?" And he looks pretty pissed. You weren't quite able to throw him because you weren't expecting him to jump out there, but he's gonna take a snap at you. He's gonna roll a natural 20. So we're gonna get this party started strong.
The 2 episodes in a row, you get mauled by a wolf.
Yeah,
I feel like he gets
My fault
mauled
again.
by everything every time,
So-
but
You're
so
completing
Grak-
your job as a barbarian.
There's no in between with Grak. Either he's falling, getting decimated, or he's just exploding everything with his
Yeah.
maul. There's no in between.
it's usually a combination of both. It's either he's getting decimated while smashing things, or he's taking a rest in between fights.
Yeah, wildly the pendulum swings
yeah.
wildly back and forth.
So this wolf is gonna snap at your hand that is that you are holding it with. It's gonna do 10 points of damage. And you're not quite raging yet, so that freaking hurts. So now it's your turn.
all right.
You
So
still
I am
have the
raging
wolf
now.
legs. They're gonna rage.
And I'm gonna rage, and I'm gonna try to throw it again. Because if I can just get it inside that ring, I'm good. Athletics check again.
Okay, and make that roll one more time. Since you're raging, you're gonna have advantage on it.
Oh, okay. So what was the first one?
The first one was a 14 plus 5, 19.
19, and the second one is a
19 plus 5 for a 24. So this time you get him, you throw him. He's like right near the edge of the circle. It was like a long toss. Like who the hell tosses a freaking wolf 20 feet? I mean, if I had to randomly guess, I'd say that adult male wolves could weigh up to 180 pounds, but average closer to 120 to 140. But a magic wolf's probably closer to 200. I'm just making these facts up.
Isn't it just a regular wolf that's been possessed?
Yeah, but the
Perhaps.
spirit weighs like 60 pounds, obviously.
I know.
The spirit's heavy. There you go.
Don't weight shame these wolves. What's wrong with you,
Yeah,
Grak?
they've been eating very well since they got to town.
Yeah, they actually
So-
have. So
So is it inside the circle or is it near the circle?
No, it's real near the circle, but he's not quite there. And then he's like, "Oh God, man! I thought I ate so much of your legs and arms earlier that I'd be too heavy, but clearly I was proven wrong. Guess I'm gonna have to kill you." He's gonna approach you, but you get another action. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna punch him right in the face.
Okay, make
slug him.
You know, like a dog. You know, bad wolf.
And
okay.
poop him on the snoot.
Do I just
You
roll the
do-
d20?
Yeah, and I'll add all the modifiers for you. It's no
All right.
problem.
D20. Here we go.
Base 16, that's more than you're going to need with all your modifiers. So you just kind of smack him in the face, and he's like, "Ah! Oh God, Why would
Get
you...
to the circle, you bastard!
He's like, make a advantaged intimidation check.
All right.
Bad dog.
I'm
You
hoping
toothy bastard.
it's double ones is what I'm praying for.
That would be
but,
hilarious.
Okay, and do one more, so you do it at advantage. The first roll was a 12 flat.
Can we
I
still
thought I
do
hit
intimidation based on strength instead of charisma, or no?
Embarrassing.
In his case, yeah, so I could add his strength modifier, so 12 plus you probably have 5, right? It just kind of backs up and is just, he's not like completely sold, but you are currently so he kind of backs up and he's like, "Grr, hit me harder, daddy," and he looks like he has a beep and is just staring at you. You're not sure what this feeling is, but he's currently being obedient to you, let's just say. He recognizes his current master. So that leaves us with Brom.
Great.
Brom walks down the lane towards this wolf, pleading with his friend to forgive him for wanting to eat him, and say, "Hi, friend. Remember me?"
He's like, yeah, you were the one who we were like friends, but then I ran off, and I don't know why I liked you so much, but you let me bite people, so you're pretty cool. So what's up?"
Yeah, I'm really into the whole biting people thing too, and I want you to live your best life, man. And I don't think this is it. I mean, you said he was your friend, and you're clearly hungry and you want to bite something, so I guess. And Brom kind of just sits down like we're having a conversation. I guess I want to know, can I take you out to dinner?
Oh boy.
Things took a turn for the weird in the past 90 seconds.
Yeah, Grak is confused as fuck.
Make a persuasion roll. I will say with advantage for some weird reason.
That would be a 25.
Oh my god. So the wolf, he's like, James was my fiance. I didn't want to eat him. If you're gonna take me to dinner, who are we gonna eat instead?
Him too. Listen, I'll take you both out to a congratulatory dinner. All on me. Pay for everything. In fact, what is it that your heart's desire right now, food-wise? Obviously, it's not James.
No. Just he's the only person I saw it, and he looks past your shoulder. And so what you see now, Brom, is you see currently Ser Doran, who is dragging a unconscious wolf into the circle. You see Detective Dick Donovan, who is leafing through papers with his wolf sitting idly by with puppy wolf eyes of admiration staring at the detective. You have Grak, who is currently let's just call it dominating a wolf in the circle, who you can't see any of the details of the wolf who's behind him. And that's what you currently see, and that's what the wolf is looking at. And he's like, that dwarf's backside looks pretty juicy.
It does, doesn't it? You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll walk right to him with you. We'll just go in that circle. It's great. It gives you extra special powers. Your teeth are going to be even sharper. It's going to taste delicious. Let's just walk over there.
Okay, let's go, James. And he just takes off.
And Brom follows right along, as I said, and walks right to the edge of the circle and gives the wolf a little smack on the behind right into the circle. And Brom's hand goes right into the circle with it, pushing it along.
Okay, so this is what you guys see. So this wolf starts to just galloping at that circle full speed. Grak, as you were maintaining eye contact on your wolf and just keeping you, it's like, don't you leave, don't you leave. You're just like, oh, and these fangs bite right into your butt. And you're like, what the hell? And you start swinging. This wolf is literally lodged onto your butt. And as you start swinging, Brom comes up behind it and just kind of shoves it into the circle. Dislodging it from your butt. You're not exactly sure what happened. Brom, as you shove it into the circle, while you're wearing gloves and a long sleeve shirt, your hand, it literally, you feel it start to kind of shrivel up and get smaller. It's a sickening feeling.
Yanks his hands out of the circle with a very girlish scream.
True Brom style. So you guys see Brom save Grak's butt cheeks. Grak, I'll just say you take 6 points of damage as this thing
Cut in half by my rage thing.
Chomp.
It definitely rips a good nibble out of your butt right through your pants. And Brom pushes it out and gives out a little yelp. And all 4 of the wolves are in the circle that you guys brought, and the other 2 are still there. So as you guys are all now looking inward, whether it's from the interest of the wolves or the wizard or the yelp, or the show that's been put on by Grak and the wolf in front of you guys, the female wizard who is standing there, she kind of claps her hands together with a loud bang, and you guys see this pillar of blue light shoot into the sky at least like 30 or 40 feet. And then all of the wolves that were there fall unconscious. And you guys see these ghostly, spirity souls just kind of float out of the body like soul ghosts. That was my first and only voice attempt with that. And I was like, soul ghosts. Like I definitely screwed up on the intro. But these soul ghosts shoot up. And it seems that they're out of the body of the wolves, and then all of a sudden they just go whoosh and shoot into Abelard's body. So Detective Donovan just boosh, these 6 soul ghosts shoot right into your body, and the glowing of the circle, it fades and the shield drops, and you guys are all standing there with this elven woman.
Grak, are you all right? I came as soon as I saw that wolf going for you.
That took a big bite out of the back of my leg. I feel like I'm missing part of my arse.
Ser Doran, please come save Grak's ass.
I used all my healing on the poor guy with the chomped off arm. I think
alas,
Grak is gonna have to suffer with that for a while. I don't want to get that close to mended traditionally. Doran pulls out a bandage and kind of looks away, pats him on the rump. That'll do it. Just wraps it around his leg without trying to get too close and personal about it. There, that'll take care of it till we can sit down and take a break, and I'll get it tended.
Okay, well, gentlemen, as you guys see the high elf woman who did this ritual of sorts, she addresses you all. So now that you actually see her clearly, without a shield or threat of wolves and all of that stuff, she's a high elf. She's female. She looks middle-aged for a high elf. She is well dressed in what is an outlandishly stereotypical, over-the-top wizarding robe set. It's like purple. It's got gold stitching all over it. Everything is bright and shiny. She's got a gigantic wizard hat with the same colors. She has a few very gaudy pieces of jewelry on her. This big, fancy looking magical necklace. It gives off a slight blue glow. And she's like, I would like to thank you all. My name is Adasa. If I could offer you all tea as thanks and maybe ask you all a few questions. I'd like to get a little bit of information on this. Would you all mind coming back with me to my shop?
Brom strides up to her, takes her hand, brings her knuckles to his lips, and says, "Your smile is thanks enough. We would love some tea."
Okay.
Wait. Before we go anywhere, I want to see, like, I've already got this wolf under my control. Can I make it like my animal sidekick? Like, not in a weird kinky way. Animal handling takes on a weird meaning right now, but
Yeah.
can I,
oh my God.
Can I try to make it my animal sidekick?
See, I want to reward Grak, but I also don't want to enable Andy. And all the wolves are currently unconscious. So we'll talk about that later, maybe in private. Perhaps we'll have a separate podcast called The Wild Adventures of Grak and His Animal Kingdom.
Non-sexual
Yes.
weird stuff. Just make it like the the druids have their pets or whatever.
It starts that way.
Why do I have a text message from you, Andy, which is just a big winky face? I'm not sure why, but currently the wolves are unconscious. You can come back and check them out later if you wish.
All right. Yes, I'm gonna come back and check the wolf out later. But see if I can convince it to join me.
Okay. So, assuming that you will follow, she brings you like a block over, and she says, here we are. Please come in. And as you guys approach it, you see a big, gaudy, over-the-top, super painted sign, and it says, "The amazing Odessa Wellseer," with these like stars and tarot cards and leaves and all of the fancy stuff, this big crystal bowl, this all-seeing eye, and the title of it, besides saying the amazing Odessa Wellseer, it says palm, tea, and tarot card readings.
I'm gonna nudge Detective Dick Donovan in the side and say, "You think she's making up for something, lad?"
I think maybe sometimes people are looking for answers and they'll turn to any places that they can.
So she invites you all in. She shuts the door behind you guys with a small, simple latch to just keep it shut. And she's like, thank you. Please don't mind me if I take this stuff off. And she starts disrobing. She takes off the hat, all of the jewelry. And she's like, I'm sorry for my appearance. I just wear this for business sake. People apparently feel that the more magical you look, the more legitimate you are. And while I am a legitimate entrepreneur, I'm not this person, but may I offer you all some tea? I have a lot of different types.
Does it have any whiskey in it?
It could. I mean, I have let me think what kind of teas I have. I have cinnamon tea. I have
Would you happen to have some light lemon verbena tisane with some honey?
Perhaps I'll have to check by stores. I have Earl Grey.
Yeah,
I have.
Will take whatever black tea is provided and be happy about it.
That's the one that comes with whiskey in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is moonshine light tea. Yes, I have Stump's Delight. I have Firecracker of the Mind. I have also Donkey Kong 64. It's one of my personal favorites.
Oh man, I would have waited for that.
While she's being a good hostess, can I try and sleight of hand slip those papers I found into like her bookshelf?
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
You know, you never know when you need to frame someone. You should start planting evidence ahead of time.
What did you roll?
Now we
22.
can see why he's on suspension.
22. Yeah. So so as Detective Dick Donovan, you see him just perusing over a few books casually, and nothing really bad. He sits back down, but he is successful in his task. So it's just like, okay, so I have your Earl Grey and Scotch, your your moonshine by tea, and your the one you mentioned, sir.
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure.
you so much.
I'm pretty sure I had that. So
I took the most common one.
yeah. So
I watched my companions take the beverages without ever inspecting them. Poisoned, most likely. This woman, shiftier than those clothes that she shifted onto the ground. I sat back and watched. Some lessons need to be learned the hard way.
she's just like, no, sir, no, I would never poison you. I mean, you just did a great boon for this.
Who said poison?
City. You did,
I
sir.
reach over and I smack the cup out of Doran's hand.
No.
I go,
She's like,
damn it, man, you can't just drink anything people hand to you. Now, come clean. What is your involvement with the wolves and how do you know the tax man?
Set up the smoke detector.
she looks down first and she's like, I'm sorry, Ser Doran. That was my last bag of Donkey Kong 64 tea. But
Dejectedly, he starts cleaning himself with prestidigitation and sulks.
So you guys see Ser Doran's armor stain itself with that tea stain after he cleans it. It's permanently part of his armor now, and she's like, well, I don't know anything about the tax situation.
Don't know anything, eh? Is that the story you're going for? I reach over to the bookshelf and pull out the papers and throw them on the table in front of her. Then how do you explain the fact that you have these? Clearly this man was extorting those wolves. Clearly he invited the attack into this town. How do you explain that?
Make a deception check for me, please.
Oh God!
Natural 20 for a 23.
Oh no!
She's just like, I didn't know. I
Now
mean,
listen
okay.
here, lady. I pick up the papers. We can make all this go away. I have a saying, let the small fish go to catch the big fish. But you better cooperate with us 100% of the way. You do that, and maybe we never saw these. And I pocket the papers again.
She's just like, okay, fine. I've been skimping on my taxes. I've been,
Damn it, woman. We don't want to hear about the taxes. Now tell us about the wolves. Specifically, tell them. They seem to know more about the situation than I do.
the wolves, I don't know the wolves' tax situation. I'm not a tax accountant.
She seems hysterical. I slap her.
Slap at everybody.
Collect yourself, damn it, woman.
Brom goes over, kneels in front of her, takes both our hands, and says, "Deep breaths. Everything will be fine. Just tell us what you know."
Is that before or after the
She's a-
slapping?
I was
After
excited and
the
surprised
slap.
to see that someone knew the good guard, bad guard routine. She'd work perfectly in this situation.
She's just like, times have been tough, and if you see how much outrageous clothes I gotta buy, and if I had to pay all my full taxes, I wouldn't be able to
very
buy
difficult.
them. And now, if they come down on me, they're gonna take my business license, and it's just a front for my more important stuff. And I
I
don't
see.
know
So
what I'm
you're
gonna
cheating
do.
on the taxes, and because the town's short, those taxes have to come from somewhere else. So you go over, you seduce the tax collector, you convince him to find someone else. He goes to the wolves, minding their business, paying their taxes, trying to live their lives, and all of a sudden they have to make up the differences that you don't pay. Is that why the wolves attack this town? Start talking.
She's just like, I didn't know this would happen. I didn't know that the wolves would be so hurt. I didn't know that that not paying your taxes would get you possessed. I just did a mass exorcism. I didn't want to cause possessed wolves. I tried to do the
Grak, Doran,
damage.
Brom, question her. See what she knows. I go walking over to the nearest window and start monologuing to myself.
Dear
looking out the
lady.
window.
Don't fear. We won't tell anyone as long as you cooperate. Tell us everything you know, and then maybe we can get to the bottom of this foul mystery.
She's like, I would have got away with all of the taxes if it wasn't for you meddling kids. What was your question again? That guy's still talking to himself in the corner. Why won't he stop talking? Why is he commenting about me talking about him? I can't concentrate.
That's the secret. And as long as you promise not to tell anyone, we'll tell you the real reason we're here. You see, He's possessed too, and we've come to you because you're an expert in this, are you not? That is how you got rid of those wolves, right? Because we really need to know how to do that.
Yes, I'm an expert. That's obviously what I do for the majority of my money. I try to keep it a secret because people, it's a long story. Again, he's mocking me.
Blah, 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 blah. Can we get to it, please, lady?
Grak is like seeing the situation, seeing how weirded out the priestess is or the sorceress is by Detective Dick. He's gonna kind of go and run interference. Like anytime Detective Dick turns away from his window monologue, he'll be like, "And what is that?" Just sort of keep him looking out the window, not looking inside the room.
No, I'm content to let my deputies handle it. Don't worry. I just stand there and like Don Draper-esque, just kind of stare out the window.
So what are your questions? I'll answer them the best I can.
Comments like the city is a cesspool.
What do you know about souls and possession?
Okay, so I know that souls can possess another body. Generally, the original soul, it's complicated, but sometimes the original soul has to be gone for full possession. Sometimes a soul could temporarily take care of another body.
And just theoretical, we're playing a little game, right? Let's play together, imagination, all that.
Okay.
So imagine if someone had a lot of souls in them, like too many souls in them. Would there be a way to, I don't know, safely get rid of them without random wildlife? Let's say bears, getting possessed?
She's like, he has more than 2 souls in his body? And she's pointing at Abelard.
Theoretical experiment, thought experiment. I'm telling you, just roll with me.
I mean, in general, only 2 souls are capable of fighting because they can't share the same body for a long time period. One will eventually override the other. If there was more than one, I can't even imagine it. The souls would destroy each other. I mean, souls, besides being the essence of a being, are also energy. Souls could, in theory, release that energy onto the world and affect the world outside. If one of the souls, like every time a soul is killed off, the energy goes somewhere. In the case of 2 souls, it's usually solidifying the hold that the new soul has on the new host. If the soul energies interacting with each other, it's like a volatile mixture of chemicals. Like, who knows what would happen? And she's like, give me a quick second. She goes into a book and she casts spell, and this like blue shimmering covers the room, and she looks at Grak and it's just like, okay, and looks at Ser Doran and okay, and looks at you, Brom, and kind of like eyes you a little bit weirdly, and she's like, I see. And then she looks at Detective Donovan and she's like, oh, and she literally falls back over her table. The tea set crashes onto the ground. The table breaks. It looks like she's blinded, and she's like, what the hell is in him? Oh my
It's
god.
cyanide. Spit it out, you coward. We have questions.
She's like, I've never seen such energy in a living being, in a energy crystal. Like, what the hell is going on with this guy here?
Yeah, so that's the problem. We need to get those souls out of him before something really bad happens. Basically, the information we got was that it would be catastrophic if we didn't get them out. But we weren't given any instructions. We were kind of sent here
oh my god,
to go to the Hill of the Stars, and we would figure it out along the way.
Ooh.
So
she kind of looks at you all suspiciously.
Makes me think that Hill of Stars isn't great. Want to fill us in?
Why don't you answer me first? Why are you going there? What do you look to find at the Hill of Stars?
So we were told when this all happened from someone in the Mages Guild who was under the employ of the noble we were working for, that that's where we'd have to go to at least unleash some of the souls, if not all of them, to prevent this catastrophic chain reaction. It seems to be, we've been traveling now for a little while, and it seems to be that the child can't hold this energy as he did before. It's starting to become more erratic. It's starting to change more often. He's starting to have outbursts. So we're kind of looking for a pressure release, without saying a better, without having a better word, because we really don't know what to do with all this energy. I mean, imagine all that energy being in a 15-year-old boy. It's not a pretty sight.
And who are you looking to find at the Hill of Stars, if I may ask?
Funny thing about that.
Anybody specifically? She's definitely like giving you guys the ice grill look. Like your next answer is very important. Anybody? Storyteller?
Real hemming and hawing going all around.
I'm like, Doran's worried now because he's pondering whether he forgot something. So,
is he saying this aloud?
Yeah. As Ser Doran takes over the habits of Detective Dick Donovan.
Brom coughs and says, "Who do you think we should find at the Hill of Stars?"
She's like, and she casts another spell, and you guys feel this energy wash over you. And she's like, okay, so either you guys are being set up for a trap, or I don't know what, you're just ignorant, but you're not evil. And that's what that spell was kind of there to determine. The Hill of Stars is an amazing place if you need to do a exorcism or resurrection or something involving that soul medium. Unfortunately, right now, the Hill of Stars is completely entrenched with this evil necromancer and pretty much all of his forces. So I just wanted to make sure that you weren't there to kind of go join forces with him, because let's just say if he got his hands on souls of this magnitude, God knows what he could do with an army of the undead. God knows what he could use to power them for.
Yeah, we may have taken these souls from him in the first place inadvertently.
We were in the battle with the rest of the knights and warriors of the realm to defeat the Necromancer, and during the battle, unfortunately, his phylactery got dropped, and, well, all of the souls got absorbed into young Abelard here, who's currently fancying himself a detective. And
smoking and coughing over in the corner.
That's right. And so we were instructed to take him to the Hill of Stars to get the spirits out of him safely. But maybe there's another option that no one told us about. We haven't had a lot of instructions to go on.
So, yes, I heard about the battle at the Necromancer's summer home. You guys caught him by surprise, just sitting poolside and tanning his cheeks. There were rumors that he died, although I don't feel that in the air. It doesn't feel right. I feel like we would know if that was the case. But see, so I can't exactly help you, but I could give you a lot of advice, and I could point you to somebody who can help you. Souls, like I said, are energy, but to get them out of this vessel, which is very unstable. Flesh is not meant to hold such more than two souls or more than one soul, let alone a son's worth. You got to start really, really, really small. If you try to just rip out a lot of them, it's like taking something bad out of the body. You don't cut it from neck to feet. You do small incisions and take stuff out and make sure that it heals and so on and so forth. Same with these souls, is you got to start really small to kind of let the pressure and let the healing process start.
So like what, 1 to 2 souls a week? Does that sound about like the perfect pace?
Are we talking like physical size? Because we have had some fairly small creatures come out to be very loud.
Yeah,
There's all sorts in there.
yeah. So the power of the soul, it varies. A lot of daytime, it's based on the original physical capacity of the host. Although sometimes it does better on power too. So for example, like the soul, if there is a soul that is remaining in the Necromancer, even though no matter what his physical size is, the power of that soul may be 50 smaller souls. But I'd probably start with smaller sized creatures that are inside of it. I can't help you identify them, and I will definitely not help you rip them out, but I could point you to somebody who can. Also, I will say that it's not as easy as a spell always. Probably the most gentle, delicate, non-evasive ways to help put these souls, which are now dead, to rest. And that could happen in different ways. So you're going to have to learn to communicate with them. So I do know a druid. Yeah. He could probably help you do that, because I'm going to be honest. If these souls start tearing out of him, if some of the pressure is not relieved, he's going to literally chain react and explode. And we're like one soul, if used, could probably be easily used to kill any of you in a single shot. 2 souls combined could probably kill all of you in a single shot. 3, a building easily. Like, it just starts getting worse and worse. So with the amount of souls in him, I easily think that you would destroy the entire world if they all chain react and explode. And they're clearly in conflict. I could see that. They're fighting with each other. I don't know why or how. It's too much of a jumbled mess. But I could point you to someone who could probably identify some of the spells. And
Yeah, that sounds great.
Where do we find them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's safe. It's not a big deal. So the gentleman, the druid who you're looking for, his name is Gravit. He is north. I could show you on your map later. But he is a very unique person, and it's a very dangerous place. It's not a big deal. I won't even fill you in on any of the details. It's fine.
That's like the third time you said it's not a big deal. I'm getting a feeling.
Did
it's
I?
A big deal.
No.
I don't have to be Detective Dick Donovan to pick up on this.
Me, and she's looking a little bit flustered, and she's like, "No, me saying a big deal is not a big deal, which is that you'll be fine."
Well, aren't you telling us, Laster? Don't make me let this guy out of the corner to come talk to you. What aren't you telling us?
She's like, well, like the place he's located in, it's kind of a dread ring. And she says it with a lot of hesitation. She's just like, picture like, I mean, he's a druid. He's a little bit unique. He lives in a place that just kind of takes the souls of the people who die in it, and it powers the dread ring further, and he could use the power of those souls to wield it in the way he wants, and anyone who dies in it comes back as an undead for his own personal army. It's not a big deal, and he's a good person, though. Gravit, A+ on the cool person scale. And, I mean, dread ring isn't such a good description. It's more like a dread swamp, because it's like a lot of swampland, a lot of creepy, weird animals there.
You know, if this fortune telling thing doesn't pan out, I think you'll have a real future in real estate. You can really sell a place.
Maybe I'll consider that. She looks genuinely thinking about it.
Business
In the
is that hard.
I think we need to make some preparations.
Yeah. A lot of them.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck in your quest to free this young gentleman of his souls. I hope that he doesn't explode and kill us all. I hope you get him out of our town as quickly as possible, in case there are any mini leaks. It doesn't destroy it. Any other questions that I may be able to help you out with?
You're not sending us to go see another necromancer, are you?
Yeah,
That whole death ring, the souls and corpses. It's out. I mean, you know, you see one necromancer, you start looking for necromancers everywhere. But I have to ask, is this guy a necromancer?
What is your definition of necromancer, mighty dwarf?
You know, raises souls, undead, consumes souls. He's never really bothered researching. He was kind of told, go here, hit these things. So that's kind of what he went to do. He didn't really care about the why there were dead things. And, you know, he knows the word necromancer means evil, but he didn't really bother researching anything about it. So he kind of hems and haws his way through it and looks to Ser Doran like, get in here.
Yeah, that's about right. The whole turning the spirits into a dead thing has got me a little worried about this situation.
I mean, if you put it that way, technically he is a necromancer. However, he doesn't kill people to bring them back to life for his own purpose. He's just a druid of life and death. He's a full circle druid.
I think you guys have bad preconceptions about necromancers. You were necromancer once back in the day, Tom. You brought Tom a corpse. He'd dig up information you'd never be able to find through good old-fashioned sleuthing. This man sounds like he'd be damn useful.
Yeah, think of it.
Enough for Dick. It's good enough for me.
Don't think of it as a dread ring. Think of it as like a happy soul collection circle that you definitely don't want to die in.
That does make it a little bit better. I mean, I still don't want to go there, but Happy Soul Ring has a... We can do this, guys, to save the
Doesn't matter how you
world,
dress it up,
right?
you're still going down to the shit, to the dangerous, the dirty, the deadly.
Yeah, don't
The question is not whether or not necromancy is involved, but the question you have to ask yourselves is, how far are you willing to go?
All the way.
We're all
Like, that sounds good. Just a few words of warning. Make sure that your friend here stays in good health. Make sure he eats.
I thought this was no smoking building.
Make sure he has plenty of fiber, so he is passing his food on a regular basis. Please, no matter how much his stomach hurts, do not give him any sort of laxative. It's just going to be a mess, both physically and spiritually. Any explosions out of him on the physical realm may transfer over to a explosion of energy.
Physically and metaphysically.
Well, now that's canon.
Mhm. I can't wait until someone brings this up in the story of your lives in like 20 episodes worth of time and calls somebody else out on it, and the whole plan is ruined because of this one technicality.
which is really what makes every story great.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's
So,
how 90% of police cases are handled, ma'am.
So tell Grabbit that I sent you. I wish you all the best of luck. Is there anything I could give you to aid you on your way?
More dwarven whiskey.
Could you deliver a message to me to the post office?
If you were in another post office, or there are also magical ways of communicating with you.
Yeah, I just need to deliver a message to someone while I'm in town beforehand, and it seems like we have to like book it out of town. So if I just write you a note, can you drop it in the mail for me?
Oh, of course, yes.
Thank you. Brom walks off and finds a piece of paper and scribbles down a message on it.
No
Can
problem.
it be the papers that frame?
Yes, absolutely. Specifically the paper that frames the wizard.
Would you like to share at this time what your message is going to say and who's it going to, or would you rather keep that personal?
It's
the viewers, not to the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brom is kind of keeping his whole back turned to the party as he scribbles down on the message. It's a very quick note in code, a thieves' cant code, and it says, taking a little bit longer than I expected, still on task. Please give me an extension. I am with the kid. I will report in as soon as possible. Sincerely, Jin. Folds it up, puts it in an envelope, writes an address with no name, seals it, pulls some wax out, stamps it, does the whole shebang, and then hands it.
Dust, a little spritz of perfume.
A teardrop that stands perfectly
Watermark.
on the seal.
No one will ever duplicate this.
She's just like, oh my god, you carry a lot of stationary products. I wasn't expecting that out of you.
I mean, I you understand, being a high elf, we've got to, stay cultured in this savage wilderness.
Those crimping scissors are amazing. Oh my god.
No, I got them for a steal. Like, I've had them for years. I love them. I crimp everything.
She's like, got them for a steal, and she winks.
Wrong way back.
Okay, so I'll mark on your maps where you got to go. I mean, in general, you're going a general direction. Once you start to see the grayish, swampy area and maybe a weird creature or two, you're going in the right direction. So just follow that to where it gets worse and worse, and just don't eat the mushrooms.
Doran adds that to his notes. Do not eat the mushrooms. Let out the spirit slowly.
Oh my god, Ser Doran, please let me give you a few better pieces of parchment and a quill and at least some of these trademark gold stars that you sprinkle on with a little bit of adhesive. Your parchment is just so plain and boring, and she's going to give you a decorative parchment kit.
Nice amount of that's my character sheet.
Grak is going to take note of the most important part of that message: mushrooms. He's gonna lock that into his brain. He's gonna be like, "There's mushrooms in these swamp. Very important. The mushrooms." He'll have missed the rest of the message. Like, don't eat any of that. He's got the mushroom part locked down.
Gotta focus on the mushrooms, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I guess we'll
get ready to head out.
Yeah.
Wait, do we do the end, the Grak trying to like take control of a wolf as a pet in now or later?
We could do it now.
All right.
You come back to the circle. You see 6 wolves that are starting to come to consciousness. And they are all looking at you, Grak. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna go to the one that that responded to my intimidation attempts. Which
is that what you call what that was?
Yeah, and I'm gonna try animal handling.
Yeah,
I'm guessing animal handling is the one that I want to roll.
Sure. Before you make the animal handling check, explain to me how Grak is going to attempt to
handle this animal.
Well, Grak has food in his pack, I'm assuming. So he's going to take out the food and he's going to like hold it out to the wolf, And then, so funny story. My brother, we were traveling we were going to a lake, and he's like, I'm going to bet someone that they can't pet a duck. And here in Canada, ducks are really they're elusive, so they'll just swim by. So I lured it in with a chip and then petted it and won the bet. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to lure it in with the meat and then try to pet it to sort of assert my dominance over it. I'm guessing that actually works or not, but.
Okay. Give me a animal handling check. I don't know what handle is.
Dominating that duck.
You rolled an 8, and what's your animal handling modifier?
It's 0.
Okay, so you're like, hey, Wolfie, hey, and it's looking at you, and then it just it opens up its mouth as if it's gonna speak, and it just vomits up a bunch of human finger bones. It seems that these wolves are excessively stuffed and excessively fed, and it just kind of all the wolves just kind of wander off in different directions.
I feel like that's a good natural stopping place.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, is there anything else that anyone wants to talk about before we end it for the night?
I'd seen a lot of things in my day. Deranged murderers, thieves like ghosts, that one incident with the necromancer and the prostitute. But today took the cake. Talking wolves with no alibi, terrorizing a town. Beaten down in the streets and cheated through taxes and paperwork. I was still reeling, struggling to take it all in like a dwarf with a dictionary. But if there's one thing Detective Dick Donovan can do, it's adapt. And so I adapted, survived, just like an animal in the wilds. My home turf was the city. And like a mama bear, I would protect my den. In future days, they would call this the case of the fraudulent wolf tax collector. But if there's one thing the stories never tell you, it's the lesson my newfound deputy, Grak, learned. Once bitten, twice shy. 3 times, it's just bestiality.
And with that, I would like to thank everybody who is watching us and commenting for joining us. We like you guys. We love you guys. Please get your friends to watch us. And I'll give it away to Andy.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Deranged and Questing. Special thanks goes to Detective Dick Donovan, who I don't think I've laughed this hard really since the last time you were on. So amazing, amazing job. And of course, Brom Wideberth and Ser Doran for being awesome sidekicks to Grak.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep up.
Yeah.
You
And of
guys are
course,
excellent deputies.
our dungeon master, Greg, for all of the weird twists and turns that he threw at us.
That you guys threw at me.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was
right
just
on the fly.
Exactly. And that's it for tonight's episode of Deranged and Questing. We will be back next Monday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, as usual. We'll also be here on Thursday night for the Fantasy Fiends show. We will be talking with Jamie Castle, fantasy sci-fi author. We got a really interesting discussion topic to talk about, and we're going to do a live reading from his book. So join us on Thursday night at 5:30 Pacific time. Make sure to smash that follow, subscribe, like all of the various buttons on the various platforms, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
All the
See you all next week. Good night.
Thank you guys.